What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to another Football Manager 2020 Simulates. This is part number 2 of Kylian Mbappe trapped at a non-league club. Yes, you know the deal by now. If you're sat here thinking, where am I? Part 2? What? Check the top of the description. There'll be a link to part 1, and if you're watching this in the distant future, or in the near present, I guess, and you're maybe not subscribed and you're binge watching some of our simulates, do consider subscribing. You get notified, obviously, when we get videos if you ring the bell as well. So yes, we're back here, part 2. We are continuing on from where we left off, so if you're just, tuning in, maybe you forgot what happened yesterday, this is where we're at. It is Mbappe. He's 26 years old. He has just played in League 2 and he has got the team promoted up to the promised land. Yes, if we just look here at the league table, they finished 3rd. They're going into League 1. It's a bit of a step up for him, but he is going to be hitting his prime now. So I think for the next couple of iterations, we're just going to go forward 2 years at a time so he can keep on top of things. This is really where he should be hitting his stride, where he can be a real difference maker. I want you to let me know down in the comments right now, how high do you think Mbappe will get this team with what's left of this experiment? Of course, his contract runs for another 15 years. Realistically, he's probably got another 10 years if he's fortunate of playing at the very highest level and to his maximum ability. It's going to be interesting to see how he falls off a cliff. So yeah, get your prediction down below. How far can he take this team? And well, without further ado, let's go forward a couple of years, shall we? Okay, folks, so we have gone forward 2 more years, and I'm really surprised that Mbappe's physicals are dropping off as they have. I say dropping off. He's gone from 20 acceleration and 20 pace at the beginning to a little bit worse. Let's just have a look at his ability before we look at anything else. So his ability is slowly declining a little bit, although it's been doing that all the way through. I don't know what Tonbridge's facilities are like. I imagine they're not particularly great, but we can see here that he's played 47 league games and 1 appearance off the bench. Now, if you know how the league works, League 1 only has 46 games a season, so they've definitely made it to the playoffs. But the question is, did he play a role in every single game, or did they make it to the playoff final? By the way, 31 goals and 15 assists. That is nuts. How did Tonbridge get on? They were in the playoffs. What did they do? Their media prediction was 3rd, so expectations high. They finished 5th in the league, and they lost in the semi-finals of the playoffs this year. Wow, look how close that was at the top. Could have been any of the teams. The fact they got as high as 5th is impressive. Mbappe, unsurprisingly, massively overperforming, although Kavanagh got more assists than him. So there you go. Ryan officially better than Mbappe. Can't be argued with. That is a scientific fact here in 2027. But yeah, you can see here they finished 5th. The year before that, they finished 4th. So twice in a row, they have had playoff heartbreak. That actually hurts a little bit to think about. Let's have a look. So this current season, they lost in the semi-finals. Yeah, they lost on penalties to Oxford. 2-2 it was on aggregate. And, well, last season, if we just have a look at things, I saw that they made the final. And they lost 1-0 against AFC Wimbledon. Oh, it's heartbreaking that they're getting beaten by the playoffs. I've noticed here, Mazzari's taken over. So they've had a change in manager, which is very interesting because, of course, previously they had Steve, who had been in charge for almost 12 years. He just left the manager role. He decided, I've taken the team as far as we can. He left actually in February of his own accord. Did he get poached by another team? Did he find another team? He went to Rotherham and they sacked him within 8 months. I guess it's because he couldn't take Mbappe with him. Well, that's sad. And then, well, Mazzari's come in. And to be fair, he's a big upgrade as far as managers go, the Italian stallion. And he's done okay with them, I guess. Look how poor their facilities are. They've got 1-star youth and 1-star training. That is a little bit abysmal. I'm surprised they've not been able to upgrade those over the years. You can see their balance here. They've got £2.3 million in the bank. And Mbappe is their big key player, unsurprisingly. Let's have a look at his stats for this year and last year. So, in his first year in League 1, he played 40 games. He got 23 goals, 13 assists, and 15 player of the matches, which is pretty good. He actually has a higher average rating this year than the following season, where he got more goals, more assists, and more player of the matches. He scored 31 goals, which is one of his best seasons ever during his time at Tunbridge Angels here in Kent. I mean, I'm surprised they've missed out on the playoffs twice. The thing is, now he's 28, so he is in his prime now. Like, this is probably as good as he's ever going to be. So he has got to start performing. In terms of milestones, I mean, he's going to have got a lot of awards, isn't he, for like Player of the Year, Fans Player of the Year. I mean, if we look at history, can we look at like awards? I don't know where awards are for individual players. I guess Best 11 would be an interesting thing to look at. I assume he's going to be in the Best 11. He is. He's playing right mid. He's got significantly more goals than anyone else around him. The fact he's got 428 appearances and 284 goals is quite impressive with that average rating. How have Tunbridge Angels done in cup competitions in the last couple of years? So, yeah, they didn't make it very far in the FA Cup this year. They got knocked out by Southend. And the year before that, they made it to the 5th round and lost to West Brom. I mean, that's a pretty good achievement in itself. I imagine they made some okay money off that. Who did they beat to get that far? They beat Brentford, then they beat Rotherham. I mean, that would have been one hell of a battle. That would have been... I'm trying to think if that was when their old manager was there. I think it might have been. Oh, can you imagine the drama? Or maybe it was after he moved. Either way, that is drama-filled at its best. Their key player right now is Capel still, who... Is he the guy who was there before? I feel like he is. He's not bad, is he, the centre-back, to be fair? They've got a pretty decent team. With Mazzari coming in, Mbappe's playing higher up the pitch, which I think will help his returns. Previously, they were playing, you might remember, a kind of 4-5-1. And as a result, he was playing wide midfielder, whereas now he's been pushed higher up the pitch. And I feel like that probably explains why he's getting so many more goals and stuff. I mean, he's doing pretty good, isn't he? If we just look at his further milestones, I guess we can look at competitions here. They haven't won any trophies, really, other than the FA trophy. But every year, I imagine, he's just getting top goal scorer in the league, which is kind of unsurprising. Although, actually, no, I tell a lie. Last season, he was beaten by Seb McGonagall. I swear that McGonagall is the last name of someone in Harry Potter or something. Answers on a postcard, I don't have a clue. Either way, was he on loan at AFC Wimbledon? He was. He got 23 goals. He stole Mbappe's crown. You can kind of see a little bit of sadness in his face, I feel like, at the fact he didn't get top goal scorer that year. But then maybe that explains the rage he unleashed as he scored 31 this season just gone, which looks like it's only been bested in recent years by Jordan Rhodes. I say recent years, 15 years ago now in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, there you go. Mbappe as prolific as Jordan Rhodes in League One. Who would have thought it? Right, shall we go forward another 2 years? He's going to be 30. I feel like when a player hits 30 in Football Manager, I consider selling them on. Let's see how he's getting on. Is he going to be on the decline? I don't have a sausage. Let's find out. Okay, folks, so it is 2029. It's 10 years in the future. And just to clarify, when I said I don't have a sausage, I mean I don't have a clue. Yeah, nothing else to be interpreted from that, I promise you. And he's on the decline, which is a tiny bit concerning. Not massively, but he's still not seen better days. But, and I've just noticed here, he's in the championships. They did get promoted. Oh, I'm very happy to hear that, because if they didn't get promoted in these couple of years, I was thinking, maybe they've peaked. Tunbridge Angels, how have you done over the last couple of years? So, they got promoted, they finished second in the league and got an automatic promotion spot, and then here in their first season in the championship with Mbappe, they finished 16th. Mbappe got the most goals, the highest average ratings. He wasn't on the assist charts though, but he's done pretty well. I mean, what was their prediction for the year? 19th, so they've overperformed. Martin Allen has come in to be their manager, so Mazzari didn't last too long. If we just look at managers here, Mazzari left. When did he leave? He left just before Christmas of this season. Was he doing very well? Either way, he's been headhunted for Derby County. See, that's an interesting thing with this, is although Mbappe is doing really well, Tunbridge themselves, you know, it's not a team with a load of reputation, a load of draw. They are still a lower league team who have climbed up the leagues quickly, so they are naturally going to have their team kind of pulled apart. Looking at it, Martin Allen is playing a 4-4-2, which Mbappe seems to love. Let's have a look at their promotion season first. So they finished 3 points ahead of Bristol Rovers, themselves and Swansea City getting promoted. So they had a pretty good season there. And, well, this season just gone, they finished 16th. Let's have a look at Mbappe here. So his pace is starting to fall off, but I expect to see his mental start to climb. You can see here 25 goals. The year before, where they got promoted, 14 assists and 23 goals. Interestingly enough, this is the first season where he's not got double figures for assists. Has he peaked? Maybe. I don't know. The fact that he's playing as part of a front two maybe contributes a little towards the general lack of assists. But you can see here how he's been getting on. Still hasn't made any more appearances for France. France have just forgotten about him. The French national team, there's no such thing as Kylian Mbappe in their eyes. They've just kind of let him collect dust on the shelves, and it's all just very, very sad. But yeah, he played 41 games. It doesn't look like he's missed too many games. I know we commented a couple of episodes, well, I say a couple of episodes ago, a couple of years ago now, about the fact he'd had a few injuries. He did have a hip injury, but it came in April a couple of years ago. So not great, but at least it was towards the end of the year. And since then, it seems like he's recovered quite well. A few minor injuries here and there, but in the grand scheme of things, nothing that's kind of going to rock his career. He is still captain, so he's held on to his captaincy. If we look at the general overview here, he's gone down to icons. That is controversial. Steve McKim is apparently listed as a legend for them now. So he became a legend. He went to Tranmere and he's not done it there either. So some would say that Mbappe carried him and made him the man that he is. I'm not going to pass comment on it for big old Steve. But yes, Mbappe, interesting that he's only listed as an icon now. But he is their captain. They did overperform this year. 16th in the championship is pretty good. My concern now is, has he peaked? Can they really do much more from here? I'm not entirely sure. It'll be interesting. I'm really surprised he's not played for France either. That is really, really shocking. I'm just wondering if he's won any Championship Player of the Months, because if he has, we can look at the positions that he was playing in. In fact, it looks like he has won a few Player of the Months, but it seems like in this league they don't. Oh, it does show it here. So he's been playing right mid and striker. Right mid and striker. Where did he play? He played attacking right mid in November. So yeah, looks like he's played a few different positions for them. Who was the next closest goal scorer? Let's have a look at a comparison. So he is the top scorer in the championship, which is pretty impressive. Gwyn Jones was the second top goal scorer. He looks very interesting as a player. I'm surprised he managed to get 22 goals, really, because he doesn't look that great. If we just compare him here with Mbappe, you can see the difference. I mean, he is a step above everyone else in their team. If we just look at Tunbridge Angels here, and I have a squad view for Experiment specifically that shows current ability. So the second best player in their team is Michalek here. So this is Tunbridge's second best player, to give you an idea, and he's in on loan. And looking at it, they're very heavily reliant on loan players coming in to carry them. The best player they actually own is Taylor Perry, who, I mean, he's an okay player, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say he's like leading championship quality, certainly for a mid-table team. That perhaps really gives you an idea of how much Mbappe is contributing. You can see in terms of goals, McGillen Oliver was the second top goal scorer for them. He got 12 goals, which actually isn't that bad. Mbappe did get the most assists as well. It's kind of funny. When we started this, Mbappe was the highest earner at the club, and now you look at things and he's one of the lowest earners, but that's what he gets for signing a contract till 2040. Of course, he's 30 years old now. It's a little bit mad to think we are only halfway through what is going to become of Mbappe here. I think for the last time today, we'll go for 2 more years. This will kind of bookend the end of him in his prime. He's going to be entering his twilight years. Will they be able to stay in the championship? It's going to be very interesting. And, well, let's go and find out how 32-year-old Kylian Mbappe is looking, shall we? Okay, guys, so we are back here at Tunbridge, and I'm sad. I'm sad. They're in League One. They got relegated. So they got that really good first finish, and then they finished 23rd. Oh, it's heartbreaking. And they're now in the process of a board takeover. We didn't really look at any landmarks. You can see some of the stuff they've achieved in recent years here. Mbappe, don't worry, he is still captain. The stadium's been expanded a little bit, but yeah, they're down in League One. Shall we have a look at what the damage is to him? Okay, he's not been as damaged as I thought he was going to be. His pace and acceleration are actually the same as they were when he was 30. And I think his dribbling has only dropped by 1. There's probably some other changes there that I've not quite spotted, but he's not completely fallen off. I mean, the big question is, what happened to them in the year where they struggled? So they finished 23rd place. They weren't even close to staying up. That is really sad. They went down with the likes of Oldham. We look at their managers. They've had a few managers come in. So Martin Allen was sacked, and then Insigne came in. The Insigne, I had to check that for a second. He's now been sacked, and now Simon Grayson has come in, rather. And he's been here for half a year, and they finished 10th. 10th! What did Insigne do to this team? What's happened to Mbappe? I mean, he's got a lot of goals still, but has he missed games of injury? He only played 38 games, plus 1 appearance on off the bench. He only missed 7 games. What about the year in the Championship? He played every game. He played 46 games, got 17 goals. So he definitely put in a shift the year that they got relegated. Part of me wonders if it was all those players they were relying on who were loaned in, who have kind of let them down a little bit. Interesting enough, Stuart Harrison here is as good as some of the players they had the year they were in the Championship. So their squad was vastly overperforming, but I can't quite believe how much they've fallen off, because Mbappe hasn't actually declined that much. So it doesn't really bode well, the fact they've got relegated and then had a mid-table finish in League One. Is this the beginning of the end for them? I'm concerned. It's weird, actually. With these experiments, like the Pep one, like the one we've done here with Tunbridge, I'm kind of getting attracted and attached to the teams, you know? I feel like the team's journey is almost as interesting as Mbappe's. I'm worried for what's going to become of Tunbridge without him. But yeah, he's actually had a torn groin muscle, so he has missed a fair amount this year. He broke his collarbone as well, actually, during this year. So that might explain why they've struggled so much this season. It didn't look like he missed that many games, but I guess with all the injuries he's had, he has missed a fair few. You can see he got top goal scorer. He was in the League One player select for the year. He's playing right mid. What about in previous years? So Portsmouth had a good year, apparently. What about these other years? So this is the year that he got promoted. He was out on the left wing. I guess that's one of the things that they tried to fit him in. He was then on the right wing. Then he was up top. So he is very, very frequently featuring in their kind of, best team, well, the league best team awards and such. But yeah, he couldn't save them in the Championship. I'm really curious. I would love to know if we look at top goal scorers, and then for the previous year, can we actually look at it? I don't know if we can look at it. We can. We can look at it here. So the year that they went down, he only got third highest goal scorer. Adam Williamson of Millwall and Varol here of Crystal Palace were the 2 players who scored above him. Looks like he was playing right attacking mid, but you can see he only got 10 assists. I say only. It's still a pretty good total considering his goals as well. His current abilities dropped down to 164, so I think the decline might be starting to happen. And I'm a little bit worried for lowly old Tunbridge for what could happen next. But anyway, we'll bring that next time, I think, because this video has already been kind of long. But let me know what you make of things. Where do you think Tunbridge are going to end up here? Once Mbappe retires, we'll go forward a few more years and see if they start to freefall. Has he done enough to establish them? It feels like they've not invested enough into the infrastructure at the club, although maybe the takeover can make a difference. Maybe they get a tycoon takeover. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? We'll find out next time, I guess. But yes, from me, from Kylian Mbappe, and from Tunbridge, all who are, of course, willing participants, not held here by tricked contracts. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Guys, if you have, do drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Part 3 will be coming your way very, very soon. Keep your eye out for it. And, well, that is all from me today. It is me, Jack. And yes, I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.